Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal, the Nootropic Reviewer, and during this video today, you're going to learn how I stay motivated throughout the whole day. I'm typically using nootropics 3 times a day, once in the morning, once in the early afternoon, and then again in the early evening, and that really helps me stay energetic, stay alert, and you'll also learn which nootropics to avoid because some nootropics can actually be demotivating. And let's first start with the morning, what that looks like for me. So first thing when I wake up, I'm actually avoiding nootropics for the first 60 minutes, and that's intentional, and the reason for that is because when you wake up, your cortisol levels naturally spike, and it's a good thing because it makes you alert, it makes you energetic. So if you use caffeine or stimulants when you wake up within the first 30 minutes, for instance, what happens is you end up needing more caffeine throughout the course of the day to stay energetic. So you want to really avoid stimulants altogether. Like if you're somebody who has your morning coffee, delay it a little bit, delay it at least 30 minutes after waking up. And what that looks like for me is I'm taking about 200 milligrams of caffeine. I'm taking 750 milligrams of l-tyrosine. I'm taking 10 milligrams of Noopep. When I first started with nootropics, I noticed like Noopep was really helping my motivation levels, but I made the mistake of taking like 50, sometimes up to 80 milligrams of Noopep every single day. And what happened was it set me up for some pretty bad withdrawals afterwards where I didn't feel as sharp. I felt like it was harder to remember things. So that's one where it's important for you to take some time on, but also take some time off, which you'll learn more throughout the videos on my channel. And I'm taking perhaps some pre-workout ingredients if it's a workout day. It's going to depend. If it's a cardio day, perhaps I won't have some of those ingredients. But these are like the 3 ingredients which are really going to be responsible for having energy, for having motivation, and you can feel it so much that what will happen is you will get in a good workout and you will feel extra focused for the couple hours thereafterwards. You may experience like a little bit of a caffeine crash, but that's okay. In the grand scheme of things, when you look at the pros and you look at the cons, I think caffeine is really going to help you. There's a lot of research backing caffeine's use around like ambition, getting a lot of work done, being productive. However, what's equally important is understanding which nootropics to avoid specifically in the morning. And I've talked about a lot of herbal nootropics and adaptogens on my channel, things like ashwagandha, rhodiola rosea, bacopa. These nootropics, they're really good for fighting fatigue. However, at the same time, they can be somewhat demotivating. So I would much rather prefer taking those nootropics as needed to fight fatigue further on in the day. Some people like taking ashwagandha pre-workout because it can, in some cases, boost testosterone levels. That's not been the case for me. I think pre-workout, it's all about getting the most energy possible. So you're taking those few nootropics. I like that Noopep really does help me to increase my focus because when it comes to working out, it's a lot easier to get a good workout in when you are focused and not focusing on work or whatever you have upcoming during the days. And for me, I work out 7 days a week. It typically looks like 4 days I lift weights, 3 days I do cardio, and that's like a really big factor, of course, in staying motivated throughout the whole course of the day. But you really want to get your blood flowing and have a good mix of cardio and weightlifting. As far as the cognitive benefits are concerned, there's more research showing that cardio does help to improve cognition, like markers like memory, like learning, like thinking. However, what I love about weightlifting, especially when we look at ambition, is that weightlifting, when you're working on those compound movements at the ideal rep ranges, is going to boost testosterone and as a result will help to boost your motivation. So my mindset getting into my workouts is like the better the workout is, the more motivated I will be throughout the whole day with all of my work when it comes to selling houses or of course working on this channel. And I am happy to admit that my goal isn't necessarily to have like the perfect body. It's all about just being productive, and that's my mindset towards my workout. Of course, if I do improve my body composition, then that's a plus point. It's icing on the cake. Afterwards, I'm getting a good couple of hours of work done, but then what happens is we often feel a little bit fatigued, and that's the time when I want to rejuvenate. I want to use some nootropics that will help to fight fatigue. And guys, this makes a really big difference. I've noticed that a lot of people on this channel, they're only using nootropics like once a day, but if you double up and you take some nootropics in the afternoon to help fight fatigue, it really does help to boost concentration because our concentration is really, really high in the morning, but then in the early afternoon, of course, it diminishes, and sometimes it does go back in the evening. So what that looks like for me is sometime in the middle of the afternoon, I'm ingesting rhodiola rosea, which is great for fighting fatigue. I'm taking 300 to 500 milligrams. The form that I'm taking it from is typically Nootropics Depot. As well, I'm using Bacopa Mineri at a similar dose of 300 to 500 milligrams. That one works really well for me for fighting stress. Then you may want to consider adding the racetams. like piracetam being great for thinking, being good for energy levels, aniracetam being better for anxiety and verbal fluency, and oxiracetam being good for just overall like awareness, alertness, being driven itself. And very often, depending on how I'm feeling, I would use alpha GPC, which is choline. Choline being a nutrient that's essential for brain health and for cognition. Choline is found in egg yolks specifically, but most of us just simply aren't getting enough egg yolks. So alpha GPC is a great supplement because it's a form of choline that is more bioavailable and easily able to be used by the brain and the body. And you'll find like it just gives you more mental energy, gives you some mental clarity, helps to lower the number of thoughts you have, and puts you in a much better mood. And so note, during this serving of nootropics, I am actually avoiding my ashwagandha, and that's where this is different to my later serving of nootropics. So typically in the early evening, depending on how I'm feeling, I will take some rhodiola rosea again to fight fatigue. I'll take some bacopa mineri. I will add ashwagandha at 500 milligrams of the form of KSM-66. I'll as well take some more Noopept. And if I want a little bit of an increase in energy levels, then I would ingest 750 milligrams of l-tyrosine. And l-tyrosine is great to take at the end of the day, especially when you're stressed and you're fatigued. You can think of l-tyrosine like one of those nootropics that the more stressed you are, the more you can feel it working, especially when you're fasted. It's like, say when it's the end of the day and you're hungry and you want to get 1 or 2 extra hours of work done, but you don't want to ingest caffeine because caffeine, of course, is going to keep you up at night. That's like the perfect scenario in which you would ingest l-tyrosine. It will boost motivation. It will help with alertness. It will help you with concentration. It can bring about a little bit of anxiety for some individuals. So some individuals often get a headache, but if there's a couple of nootropics you really understand in depth, it would be l-tyrosine and it would be ashwagandha, which I've talked about more about ashwagandha in this video here. But I know that a lot of you follow this channel and you understand that I take a whole bunch more nootropics, and I definitely take more than what I've included in this stack here. But to tell you the truth, like these few nootropics and this regimen is probably responsible for like 70% of me being motivated when it comes to nootropics and how they help. Some of the other nootropics, they can help with like increasing my curiosity level, perhaps making me learn quicker. But these are the ones that I really owe to a lot of my success and being motivated, being consistent at my work. And so I would really encourage you to consider taking a stack like this. Get your workouts in. Don't let people tell you that you're overtraining. As long as you're staying free of injury, it should be okay, especially if you're like a younger individual in your, let's say, late 20s, early 30s, or even younger, then I think you're okay. And the way you would want to use Noopept and Alpha GPC is going to be strategic. It's going to be depending on how you feel with it, because these are two nootropics that you really do need to find the dosage that works for you. And I really hope you did get value from this video. Let me know what's one of the best nootropics for you when it comes to boosting your motivation levels. And if you are a new viewer, then be sure to subscribe. I appreciate everyone's support. And if you'd like to chat with me one-on-one, you can do so over on Patreon, or you can send me a direct message on Instagram. And of course, be sure to join our Discord server. I've got the link for that in the description box below, where we have a 24/7 chat room and we're answering questions in a very time-sensitive fashion. And I will look forward to seeing you all next time.